That was quick.
We're so busy. I'm having such a wonderful time talking to our guest.
I know. Well, we're joined by our guest, who is Amy M. Wadsworth. She is the NextWork Program Director at Columbus Community Center in Salt Lake City, Utah. And Amy attended the University of Utah, took 17 years off to raise her children, one of whom is on the autism spectrum, before she returned to school in her 40s to finish school and go on to get her master's degree in human development and social policies with a certificate in disability studies.
And then she started as a researcher at Columbus and helped to develop the NextWork program from the ground up. So that we really want to talk to you about this amazing program. And Amy, thank you for being with us. Tell us a little bit about what NextWork and what the program is.
So the NextWork program focuses on adults with autism, and particularly those that are type 1, higher functioning, more Asperger's. There's a lot of different ways to refer to it. So they're basically individuals that have autism, but they don't have a cognitive disability in addition to that. So we work with them to help them find jobs. We also have classes that we use to help them to prepare to be ready for the workforce. And we provide job coaching once we get them in a job. So we want to, help them have longevity and keep the job.
Well, and we talk all the time here about how important it is for people to be able to have a job and what comes with that, because I'll be honest with you, I did not realize before, I don't know whether I was just living in a fool's paradise, but I didn't realize how much it meant to, like, I know people who don't want a job. I think we all know people who don't want a job. And yet when I have met individuals on the spectrum, wherever they fall on the spectrum, and you talk to them about would they like to have a job, I am always amazed and lifted up by the fact that they want to work. They see it as like a right that helps to make them, an adult. And that sort of makes sense to me now, where before I guess I was oblivious to it. But you must see a lot of this, people who their lives are changed by the ability to be employable, yes?
Definitely.
What are some
it's part of your identity, right?
Yeah.
Right. What are some of the autism-specific challenges in finding a job, Amy?
Well, one is the networking. So much of getting a job relies on your social skills. And so they have to rely on something that is extremely challenging for them to even get a job. So we want to help and alleviate that a little bit. So we want to take some of the pressure out of job interviews, out of networking to meet new people. We take our clients out on tours of businesses where they might want to work so they can get a good idea of what the culture is like and see whether they'll fit there. We also want to meet the managers and the individuals that they'll be working with so we can better understand how we can help with that cultural transition that they make as they move into work.
I'm wondering, because part of what you do is that you partner with businesses, correct?
Yes.
And what is the secret to your success there? Because how is it that you're overcoming the fear of employers about what they don't know about autism?
Right. I think, part of it, I think the stigma is really starting to go away. They have a long way to go. But especially Utah is a very interesting place. And you know this since you were here in Provo for a while.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of collaboration, and this is, we have a lot of volunteerism, and everybody's really interested in collaborating. And so we have businesses in Utah that are willing to do that, and it's part of their culture that they, they're changing their diversity, their standards of diversity and inclusion, and it's becoming part of corporate cultures in Utah.
Now, you offer apprenticeships and internships, is that correct?
So what we do, we have a couple of different programs at Columbus, and one is called the Columbus Connects program, and that was not my program, but it's a transition program, and we encourage our clients to participate in that program before they come to us. And that program helps individuals to to, when they're getting done with school and they're figuring out how to transition to adult life. And so they do a lot of career exploration and a lot of, just trying to figure out what kinds of things the kids like to do. And so after they do get an internship. That's part of that, is that they get a 2-week paid internship or a short-term paid internship so that they can figure out what it's like to be in the workplace. And then when they come into NextWork, it's going to be a longer-term apprenticeship, and it kind of depends on the business that we're working with and the relationship that we have with that business. So currently we have a really good relationship with a company here in Utah called Inassist, and they make smart lights. So they're lights that you can change the color and the warmth, the temperature of the light, and you can also fade it so that it's brighter or dimmer. And so we have internships where we can set them up to do the manufacturing of these lights, and they learn more about electronics and stuff like that, and it kind of lets us know their aptitude for working with electronics and computers and things.
I love that. I love those lights too.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, and they're amazing. We're actually going to have those lights put in our new building, which is called the Hub of Opportunity.
Yes, talk to us about the hub.
Yeah, so this is our next project. We've actually broken ground already, and it will open next year. In January of 2020, we'll be able to move some people in, and it's a live-work situation, and it's mixed housing. So there will be apartments there. Some of those apartments will be, 16 of those apartments are for NextWork clients, and that will be our transition academy. So individuals can live there. In the apartments, we'll have a residential assistant there, kind of like you would in a dorm, and they'll be able to take life skills classes. We'll train them on safety, health, how to do your finances, and all the skills that you would need to live independently. And that's a 16-month program. And by the time they're done with that, we'll have set them up with an internship or an apprenticeship. So yeah, that's really exciting, and it's located right on a transit line. So, here in Utah, we've got the TRAX transit that goes right along the I-15 corridor, and so it's very centralized. And the location of our of the hub will be right there next to a TRAX station.
So they've got great access to transportation.
Yes. And we'll provide transit training and everything so that these individuals will be able to really experience our city.
Wonderful. Now, Amy, I'm just curious because we said at the beginning that you have a child who's on the spectrum. I imagine a young adult by now.
Yeah.
And how much of that influenced you going into this field?
Oh, I never would have gone into this field without her. It wouldn't even have crossed my mind. Really, she's a life changer, for sure.
And what is she doing today? Tell us how she's involved.
So she is more severely impacted with her disability.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she also has epilepsy. So she needs more support. So this program wouldn't work for her.
Right.
But she's currently getting customized employment services, which means she's going through a discovery process, and the individual that's working with her, her name is Janet Hellickson, and she also works here at Columbus. And she is taking Jessica's my daughter, and she's taking her to different locations and watching her engage in the community and figuring out through observation what Jessica's skills are, which is perfect because she's nonverbal mostly, and but she still has a lot of skills, and so it's great to have her be interacting in the community, and hopefully we'll be able to carve out a job for her that will be able to use her skills.
Mm-hmm.
Because I love Utah so much, and we were talking before that I had taught for a period of time in the state of Utah, and so I have friends who teach there. So I kind of wherever I have friends in a state, I kind of keep track of what autism is doing, and I was always dismayed because for a lot of years, Utah was very behind in the field of autism, that there weren't services, there wasn't a mandate for therapies, there wasn't funding for things. But I gotta say that when Utah got on board, Utah caught up quick. It's actually one of the best states to be in right now for services because it services across a wide variety for, you know, a lot of states don't have something like this in place for adults, Amy. So I have a strong sense that you've been a part of that catching up.
Well, it's been really nice. There's been a lot of synergy in Utah with this endeavor. So I mentioned in the bio, I mentioned that I went back to school and got my master's degree. And my graduate project was actually a book about autism in adulthood. And it was something that, you know, there was so little research on that really the only research we had to tap into was case studies and things that individuals who were working in the community already were doing with small sets, small groups of individuals. And so that book that we worked on was really groundbreaking. And we had some chapters that were written by a lot of the individuals throughout the country and really throughout the world who are front runners in autism and adulthood.
Well, you're teasing us, Amy. Amy, you're teasing us. What's the name of the book?
Oh, well, you know what? Let me go grab it. I can't think off the top of my head what it is. Hang on.
That's when you know you're busy, when you can't think of the name of the book that you wrote.
Right.
Probably. I have too many things in my head right now, I guess.
That's right.
So it's called Autism Spectrum Disorder in Mid and Later Life. So there it is right there.
There we go.
And Scott Wright was my mentor.
Fabulous.
And so this book, I mean, we've got, I wasn't intending to pitch the book, but I'm going to now. So we've got, you know, Amanda Bakian, who is a researcher, Hillary Kuhn, there's Temple Grandin wrote a chapter, Judy Endow, who I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she does blogs. Yeah.
I'm friends with Judy.
So she has a chapter in there, and we also have an organization here called Optimizing Autism, and it was created by autists for autists, and the gentleman that runs that, his name is Elliot Francis, and he's just amazing. He's an autist, and his ability to explain and describe his experiences and the way that he sees the world is it's very enlightening. It's so fun to listen to him talk, and it gives you a whole new perspective on autism and how.
So where do we get the book?
So what?
Where do we get the book?
You can get it on Amazon.
Fabulous.
It was published in England, so, actually Philadelphia, but Jessica Kingsley is the publisher.
Right.
We love
So they're based in England. So.
Fabulous.
And Amy, how can people get in touch with you with the NextWork program?
So we're still updating our website. We are, we're growing like crazy. The program is only 3 years old, and that was back when we were still researching and trying to figure out how we wanted, what elements we wanted in the program. So, but the website for Columbus is it's www.columbusserves.org.
Okay.
And we're under community employment. So that's where my contact information is. You can email me and I can give you my email address right now if you'd like.
Okay,
It's
sure.
up to you.
Okay, it's A. Wadsworth, and that's WADSWORTH at columbusserves.org.
So they can contact you to find out more about the NextWork program.
Thank you so much for the work that you're doing in Utah.
Oh, thank you. We're thrilled. It's great.
All right, we'll look
All right,
forward
thank
to
you,
talking
Amy.
to you again. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.